All right, it is 7 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm now going to call this meeting of the SDSU Student Association to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Senator Mollison.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I hope everyone had a very happy holidays and a good break that we all needed. Chief of Staff Peterson, would you please call the roll?
Senators Anderson, Barnett, unexcused, Bolweg, Fry,
Here.
Christoffels,
Here.
Derringe,
Here.
Foley,
Here.
Holland,
Here.
Campson,
Here.
Cottonon, Lopez,
Here.
Mollison,
Here.
Paudel,
Here.
Roca,
Here.
Sharples Schmidt,
Here.
Shrestha,
Here.
Siwa Cody,
Here.
Sleep,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Wallen,
Here.
Warfa, Diversity Liaison Alex,
Here.
Communications Chair Ringenberg,
Here.
Finance Chair Delahoyd, Government Affairs Chair Hunt,
Here.
Chief of Staff Peterson here, Vice President Sierra,
Here.
President Spear,
Here.
AFA,
Here.
AISA,
Here.
BSA,
Here.
GSA,
Here.
Hero, Hero,
Here.
Honors College,
Here.
IRC,
Here.
LASA,
Here.
RHA,
Here.
Unified Council, unexcused, Unified Council,
Here.
UPC,
Here.
Advisor Bylander,
Here.
Advisor Schmidt, excused, Advisor Willis.
Moving on to adoption of the agenda, are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? Finance Chair Delahoyd.
I move to add VP Green to open forum item.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor of adding Vice President Tracy Green to open forum to speak with us briefly, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Any further additions or corrections to the agenda? Finance Chair Delahoyd.
I move to add the UAFBC to the agenda and to waive the first reading, therefore adding it to
It's been moved and seconded to add the UAFBC reserve poll, which will be explained in a little bit, to the agenda and kind of moving the first reading away and putting it under unfinished business. All those in favor of doing such, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, any further additions or corrections to the agenda tonight? Seeing none, we will take this to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Peterson? No? Not roll call. Sorry, long break, guys. All those in favor of approving the agenda amended, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The agenda is approved. Likewise with the minutes from like way too long ago. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve? Senator Christoffels? All those in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Minutes are approved. All right. As the amended agenda said, we are going to add Vice President Green into our open forum section, and I will welcome you up now.
Thank you all for your time today and for having me here for a few minutes to speak to you about some issues here on campus. I think the last time I was here was right around Halloween, and everybody was dressed to their peak competition format there. So thank you. It's good to see you all once again. Thank you for having me back. I know you have a full agenda today, so I'm going to be a little bit brief. And then after I make a couple comments, I can probably answer 1 to 2 questions, but then at the end after that, I'll probably just ask that we filter those back through leadership to me and offer feedback that way, but I don't want to consume your whole agenda tonight by just doing Q&A. So I'll do a few comments. I know that you all came back from a break. I hope it was a really great one, to some new campus news about what we're doing in safety and security here at SDSU. And I wanted to just give you a few pointers and comments on that so that you can think about it and provide us feedback at some time. So right now, we are going through some transition in our campus safety and security. We do hold safety and security as a continuing priority for SDSU. It's very important to all that we do. And we strive to continue to have that safest, one of the safest campuses in the nation. You've seen that in the world reports, but we continue with that endeavor. And so at this time, in partnership with the City of Brookings and a great collaboration and some support there, they have agreed with SDSU to lend us their Brookings Police Chief, Department Police Chief, to head SDSU's University Police Department as interim chief for this time. At the same time, we're looking, like we do anytime we have a vacancy here at SDSU, to look at the structure of how we do things surrounding safety and security. And so the other announcement you probably came back to was that we are realigning our University Police Department as well as our environmental health and safety into the same umbrella of oversight as our risk management, which currently reports to me, and our emergency management that currently reports to me. So with that vacancy there, we're going to look and make sure that we're getting the highest efficiency, highest impact, best processes, best kind of structure to meet the safety and security needs of the university campus. As we continue that, we're definitely going to seek that feedback of the campus. Students will have opportunities to provide feedback on things like when we go to hire a new chief for the University Police Department, because that Brookings oversight is just interim right now. So we're reviewing, we're looking for feedback, we're going to continue to make that safety and security a priority, and we're going to continue that collaboration in the interim period there with Brookings Police Department Chief as our chief for University Police Department, but it is not the final strategy that we'll have. So we're going to learn a lot in these next few months, and we'll be giving more information back out to campus as we continue that process. So that's the big news I wanted to give you a couple pointers or a couple pieces of information on, and I can answer a couple questions now if you think I missed something.
Just a quick matter. So I know it was announced originally. I think it was announced. Now it's kind of gone to this other interim chief now through Brookings. Is there a reason why I guess we went away from the one that was previously announced? Why we're going through?
So right now we're working on some high impact coverage, and I can't comment on individuals that have been involved in the process previously, but this is the strategy we're taking right now to try and navigate that for this time.
Questions? Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I look forward to any feedback or questions that you have. If you filter them through leadership to me, we're happy to get some answers back out and some comments and keep you all involved in those processes. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, we will now move on to open forum item B. We have some lovely guests here. We have Jen Novotny, the Assistant Vice President for Student Life, Kevin Fullerton, Director of Career Development, Cody Burgraff, Director of Student Activities and Orientation, and Mark Van Huysen, Director of Union Operations and Event Services. Welcome up.
Good evening, and in the spirit of what Tracy just shared too, I would like to keep us very succinct because you do have a full agenda, and I want you to know that I live and work in this building, and so do these folks on both of my sides. And so if you'd like to reach out later and you'd like to connect with us individually, you certainly can do that. So when I was asked to come and speak at the forum tonight, I actually thought, what great props could I bring? I don't know. Choreography. I think Mark was working on choreography, but I wanted to bring 3 of the directors that work directly with all of you in a variety of different ways through my role, and also give them each an opportunity to talk a little bit about what they provide, and also give you some information about how GAF is at work every day under this roof. So with that, my name is Jennifer Novotny. You all probably have heard my name in other settings related to Food Service Committee, if you serve on that. Yeah, give it up. And you've probably seen me in some of those open forum discussions with student focus groups related to union renovation efforts and some of those things ongoing over the past couple of years if you've been around for a while. So I am in this role 3 years now. I work with the food service contract as well, so I oversee the day-to-day operations in concert with the university's agreement with Sodexo, and they are also an active part of the student experience, and so work with the food service committee, and that is an ongoing effort. Every 2 weeks, we meet with students from the residence halls and from this group as well to get feedback and try to continue to improve services to students. Our GAF that we receive from students go to a variety of things, so I just wanted to provide a couple of pieces of that information before I hand things off to our wonderful, I think Sophie said lovely directors, and we'll do that in just a minute. So union operations, our day-to-day student labor is covered by GAF. A lot of the staff salary and benefits covered with GAF. Also, maintenance and repairs on this facility. We recently underwent quite a few repairs external to the facility and also internal to the facility. We do that ongoing. Mark oversees a group called SUAC, which is Student Union Activities Advisory Committee, and they hear about all of those ongoing projects and also give feedback and help us to influence and prioritize that list of priorities throughout the year. And I also would like to mention that career development is a big part of our GAF allocation as well, because quite a few years ago, about 15 years ago, this group started to really look at what are students' needs and wanted to expand our reach in the student union to extend to career development. And so that is when we welcome career development into our fold. And we have that ongoing, and I think many of you have been involved with some of those programmatic efforts, whether it's attending a career fair or whether it's coming in and doing a resume interaction with one of our career coaches. I'm hoping that Kevin can give you some more information on that. And then also our orientation program, which isn't GAF funded, but is part of this team and part of our department, reaches out to all of our prospective Jackrabbits and their families as we welcome them to the campus in the summer and also throughout the year. That is a pretty intensive program. If you've all been to orientation, I hope, raise your hands. Yay. 1 of you, 2 of you, I don't think that's quite accurate. And also Thumbstart, which is sort of that academic counterpart, dovetailing with the onboarding experience for our new students. And so that kind of expands the overall view of what our department provides to the students. And with that, I'd like to hand off to first Cody, and he will talk a little bit about orientation and student activities.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. As Jen said, my name is Cody Burgraff. I serve as the Director of Student Activities and Orientation here at SDSU. And student activities and orientation, we really have 4 distinct areas that I was asked to, or I want to just go over to make sure you're all aware of and can ask questions about it at a later time. Number 1, I guess these are in no particular order, but in my list on number 1 is orientation for new and transfer undergraduate students. We don't handle the graduate student or online orientation through our office. That could change someday, who knows, but that's a big piece of it. And then university programming and university program council, which is the RSO, or Registered Student Organization of the programming world. They're charged with putting, and they are GAF funded, charged with putting on campus-wide events and assisting with campus programming initiatives from the Division of Student Affairs or right here in the union. So they help with those first week of events, welcome back bash, things of that nature, the larger campus programs. And then fraternity and sorority life, or some of you might know it as Greek life. They are charged with leadership and oversight of the FSL program, or fraternity and sorority life, and that falls under my purview. And then last but certainly not least is university traditions, which we classify here as our Hobo Day homecoming tradition, and our State-a-thon dance marathon tradition for the Children's Hospital in Sioux Falls. So in student activities and orientation, we really focus on student leadership and growth in all those areas. One area, or I didn't mention, all those areas have a huge student population that assists us in putting those things together and hosting all of the events. So we have a huge, really focus on student leadership and growth in areas of high impact and visibility. We have a lot going on this semester. Real briefly, orientation leader positions are currently open and on Handshake. Hobo Day Committee is currently seeking positions to sit on the Hobo Day Committee next year. Fraternity and Sorority Life is in their spring recruitment cycle. UPC has a wide slate of events happening this semester and is looking for fall ideas. And State-a-thon will be hosting their big dance marathon in April with weeks leading up to that as well. So next, I'll turn it over to Kevin.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Kevin Fullerton. I'm the director of the Office of Career Development. And some services with our office that you're probably familiar with is we meet individually with students for resume review, major and career exploration, interview prep, mock interviews, salary negotiation. We can help you prepare for grad school, a variety of things like that for individually. We, of course, host numerous career fairs throughout the year. Something else that you might not be quite aware of, though, is we're in the midst of a strategic initiative called Career Everywhere. And so we're spending a lot of time with faculty and staff and trying to help them develop strategies to talk about career readiness within their classes, regardless of what the course topic is. And so hopefully that is to your benefit as well. I think that, actually, I wanted to share one more thing. I am also the chair for Lead State, and we are in the midst of getting ready to recruit for our next year's cohort. So if you've ever been a part of Lead State, talk to anybody else that you feel like might benefit from Lead State. If you're interested, let me know. But yeah, keep that in mind.
And now Mark Van Heisen, everyone.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. My name is Mark Van Heisen. I am the Director of Operations and Event Services here at the Union. One of the things that we're going to probably highlight is how many positions we have that we're GAF funded. We provide full service for any events that happen on campus within our facility and so on. But the area of event services, we have 6 full-time staff that work doing reservations, putting in, initiating all the event paperwork that we have, putting together any ticketing that might need to happen for events like the international night, plays, any of that kind of stuff, as well as, we have State Tech Production Services that does all the light staging and sound for our facility and then across campus, and some limited community type stuff where we do things like downtown for Hobo Week and as well. We have, like I said, 6 full-time staff, and on average, we employ between 55 and 65 students in our different service areas. First area that we have are the ones that do the intake for all the events on campus would be information exchange. They're the butterfly that, the whole butterfly effect where they start waving their wings and the events start rolling out. They help us get things started there. Info puts the events in the system, and then our other service areas come in and they help provide service for all the setups that we have to do. Like whenever this room is set up for the meeting, there's a setup crew that comes in and sets the room, preps it, resets it afterwards for whatever else is coming along. We have our union coordinators, which direct the setup crew. They act as our building concierge. They're always on point when the building is open, and they are our eyes and ears to help figure out what went well, what we need to improve. It's always continuous improvement in what we try to do. State Tech, they provide light staging and sound. Again, roughly for we were as high as 600 events during the academic year. I think we're right at about 400 right now. A big thing that we were able to take on in the past academic year is with the dissolution, with the print lab going away, a lot of the print lab equipment ended up coming to Blueprint downstairs. So in addition to doing any of the posters and digital ads and some of the social media things that people have come downstairs for, we have been doing some larger runs of items for different departments on campus, whether it be like admissions, if it's syllabuses, tests, exams, those type things are being printed downstairs. So we've taken that on and expanded that area. Have a lot of stuff going on down there. They also, Jared, our AD downstairs, also goes through and he approves all of the images that we have on the digital signs that are across campus. So that's another thing that we do. We do a lot of coordination with different departments on campus to make sure that there is consistency in how we approach events. We're working on doing some standardization, not only with our reservation system, but then also maybe with some of the forms that we need to work on here at some point. But in a nutshell, that is kind of who I am and the people that I get to work with. Been here in this building since 2007, and the people around this table right now are the ones that keep me here. So I appreciate working with students, and if there are any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. If you ever have any questions beyond this that you think of, I'm housed down in the 150. Door's always open. So thank you for your opportunity.
All right, and the very last thing then, well, not the very last thing, I should say, I am really fortunate to work with this talented bunch back here. We also have really great staff on our team, and we rely so much on our student employment to help carry the weight of all the programs and services that happen under this roof. I wanted to end with just a little bit about the dining end of things because this week we have 2 focus groups coming up. If you haven't heard about it already, we have something, it's really fun, so just be prepared. It's called Fork It Over, and it's, yes, just thank you for that. That we are hoping to get some feedback about how we can continue to hone in on what we can improve in the Jaeger dining site. As you probably are aware, this has been a year of lots of changes, and with the expanded effort of building that second floor this year over in Larson Commons and reopening that dining this upcoming fall. This year we were over in Jaeger dining area, and we basically turned a former print lab into a dining hall in the course of about 2 months. And we worked with our campus staff over in the facilities office to really make that magic happen. And then, of course, the dining team. But none of that comes without a lot of effort toward looking at what we can hone in on as improvement. And so this Fork It Over event is a successive event that happens twice this week, tomorrow and Wednesday. And it is going to be over in the Caldwell Lounge. And it goes from 6 to 7:30. There will be some light refreshments and some engaging conversation with some professionals in dining to really talk through some of the things that are coming also. So they really want to build the enthusiasm and excitement about the Larson dining experience next fall. And they've been putting a lot of thought and effort into that as we've learned a lot this year. And we've continued to hear a lot from our food service committee. So with that, I would close and offer that same thing that we've heard already, which is we all work and live in this facility. If you'd like further conversation or further discussion about any of the topics that we brought up, we are more than welcome to do that. And we look forward to lots of great work happening.
Does anyone have any questions? All right, you're off the hook.
Alrighty, moving on to open forum item C, we have the Armed Forces Association annual budget presentation. While you guys make your way up and this gets pulled up, I'm kind of just going to start explaining. We're going to start getting all of our general people that are already on our budget or clubs that are already on our budget come and present their annual budget to us, essentially, as we'll see what they spent GAF on and then how they've progressed this year.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Colin Nichols. I am the president of the SDSU Armed Forces Association. So tonight, I'm going to be telling you about what AFA is, how we budget the money that we receive from the school, our upcoming Veterans Retreat, which is actually this weekend, where we go out to the Black Hills for a couple of days, and then I will open it up to any questions. So the Armed Forces Association, we are a military-affiliated club that was founded in 2011. We are consisted of student veterans, active service members, dependents of veterans, and those that participate in Army and Air Force ROTC. We currently have 24 active due-paying members, and we provide things for the community such as concert security. We actually just did a toy drive for some deployed service members' children for Christmas, and we do some volunteering at the VFW specifically for their bingo, which is held every Wednesday and Friday. And we generate activities for all student veterans and dependents and service members around campus by providing a place for camaraderie. And we do a lot of things like host movie nights, go to the bowling alley, and we do some grill outs and bingo. So typically we ask for about $1,800 from the school, and that funding goes towards our vehicles, which we take out to our retreat to the Black Hills, and everything else is covered by the Veteran Services and Engagement Center, which is where we host all of our club meetings. And a little bit about our Veterans Retreat. It takes place every year over Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. We go out to the Black Hills. We leave this Friday morning, and then Saturday and Sunday we do things such as snowmobiling, hiking, snowboarding, and we have some counseling for anyone that may need it. And this year we are going down to explore Deadwood. I believe there's a concert going on, and they have an ice rink. And here's a picture of all of our officers. Does anyone have any questions?
How much dues do your company?
$15 a year, $10 a semester. Yes.
How many people are you guys bringing to the hills this year?
24, and half of them are AFA members.
Can you elaborate on what you mean by half of them members?
Half of the students that we are bringing on this trip are due paying.
The other 12?
The other 12 are just student veterans, service members.
Questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty, very similar. We will move on to open forum item D, the Best Buddies annual presentation.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Norris Mestad. I'm president of Best Buddies. This is Leslie. She is our vice president. As you can tell, I don't have much of a voice tonight, so she is taking the
So Best Buddies, we have 55 active SDSU members. We do monthly events with all our members, so that includes SDSU students and then our buddies, which are people from Advance here in Brookings. I don't know if you're all familiar with it, but it's a home for people with disabilities and other things. There are several different areas for them around Brookings as well. And then we also do individual pairs. So it's one student to one buddy, and then they communicate once a week, either over text, email, or call. And then they do a once a month, just a buddy pair event. So it can be things going out to a movie, going out to eat with them, or just going to the house and visiting for a bit. Some of our major 2025 to 2026 events were our Buddy Bash kickoff, our Halloween costume party, our tie-dye and karaoke night, Thanksgiving party, Christmas party. We are doing a movie at Brookings Cinema, and we have a Valentine's Day party, St. Patrick's Day party, and then we do an end-of-year bowling party at the Lanes here in town. For our finances, so in fall, we requested $640. $250 of that went to craft materials. That's a big popular activity we do at a lot of our meetings. $96 went to fundraising supplies / printing. 57 went to equipment rentals, which is things such as lawn games. We rented those from the Miller Wellness Center and did it, and it was a very big hit with our buddies when we can do that when the weather allows. And then our other was the SCAP Walk for Hope 5K collaboration, and we allowed us paying that allowed our group members to go no charge for them. And then our student impact, Best Buddies offers SDSU students the opportunity to have an impact not just on campus, but also in the Brookings community. We welcome students of any major or experience level to volunteer with us, and the growth we've seen between both students and buddies and lasting impact all involved has been truly life-changing. We are incredibly optimistic about the future of Best Buddies at SDSU and hope that the Students Association will continue their support in helping us reach our full impact. And then any questions?
Yes.
So when they go on like their long one, they take the money to move. Is that currently a cost to the student, or is that something that's needed to?
Cost for yourself, and then buddies are actually allotted. They have access to their. They're also as well. Anything else? Thank you guys.
Alrighty, moving on to open forum item E, we have a student organization constitution. The dance club, welcome to come up.
Hi, I am Xander Sullivan. I am trying to found this club here at South Dakota State University. A little bit about the club. The goal is kind of to give an outlook. Sorry. My name is Xander Sullivan. I am looking to start a dance club here at South Dakota State University. My kind of goal with starting this club is to give an outlook to retired dancers who maybe didn't make the dance team, which only allows about 25 dancers on their team, somewhere to kind of go and dance and have a good time doing something you love.
Questions? I have a question.
Oh, yeah,
What
sorry.
expenses do you see happening in this club?
As of right now, the only expenses I currently see is maybe posters and stuff like that. I don't foresee any extra from there because the goal is mainly student-led classes. So currently I'm a senior. I'm certified in Shigeti grades 1, 2, and 3, meaning I can teach ballet grades 1, 2, and 3. So I can teach classes as well as I currently teach hip hop in Sioux Falls. So I'm certified, but I am well experienced in teaching as well as giving other people opportunities to kind of get into teaching and seeing if it's something they're interested in pursuing. Yes.
These students paying dues to kind of cover stuff? Are you guys?
I don't right now. My goal would be to fundraise our dues for that, or not dues, but fundraise our money for that. Yes.
So I guess I have two questions. Like, would you be utilizing the wellness center primarily, and then like, will you do like a yearly recital or like work with a large arts center at all? Or?
I would work mainly with Larson's Performing Arts Center, on like room rental. It's not like it's free of charge for students to rent the room out, and I would just go and schedule when we're looking at doing meetings there. And then as for recital, I don't see anything right now. Just kind of getting people together to move their bodies, so that way, even if you're a beginner and you've never danced a day in your life, you can come, still move your body, and have fun with people. Yes.
Yeah, just piggybacking off of that, I would recommend you guys reach out to the Wellness Center. I know they take on a lot of active clubs that are about health and wellness, and there's funding available through them as well. So if you guys are looking for avenues, they can.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
How many members do you have interested right now?
Currently, we have 18 just from word of mouth. Yes.
Planning to collaborate with any other, like we have international dance club too. Are you planning to talk with them about these things, or is it?
As of right now, I see them kind of as two little separate entities of like international dance crew focuses more on that international side of things, whereas we'd focus more on the like side of dance that you previously were doing in the studio. Yes.
You said you could teach ballet and stuff. Would you have other opportunities to teach like contemporary hip hop, jazz? Is it gonna be mainly for classes, free classes these students can do, or is it gonna be more of like a open room for those to dance in?
More of like a class setting of different styles. So contemporary hip hop, modern jazz. Yes.
One more question. Because you're a senior, do you see a successor maybe coming through to help with the longevity of the dance club?
I do. Behind me.
I can take over this one.
So I'm currently a junior, and I know we have another freshman that's part of the club wanting to join the club and help create the club, and she would be willing to take over it since she is a freshman. That would give us another 4 years, and then within the 4 years she's here, that would help us add more people and possibly be able to keep that club going longer.
Any other questions? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the dance club constitution? Senator Derringe.
So moved. Wait, second?
So moved.
So moved.
Second. Senator Derringe, first right to debate.
I think that's a great idea. I had a lot of friends I graduated with who did ballet and dance all their life, and then obviously it's very competitive, especially at a D1 school. There's not a lot of opportunities. I think it's just a great thing for those dancers to continue that, as well as everyone likes to dance. I think it'd be a good thing, outreach. And then you have so many different ways you can go with this. You have the PAC, Oscar Larson's, you also have the wellness. So I think this is an overall good idea, and it can get a lot more other than just dancers involved in that.
Further discussion? All right, we will take this to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Peterson, please call the roll.
Senators Anderson.
Aye.
Barnett abstains. Bolweg. Fry.
Aye.
Christoffels.
Aye.
Derringe.
Aye.
Foley.
Aye.
Holland.
Aye.
Campson.
Aye.
Cottenham.
Aye.
Lopez. Mollison.
Aye.
Paudel.
Aye.
Roca.
Aye.
Sharples Schmidt.
Aye.
Shrestha.
Aye.
Siwa Cody.
Aye.
Sleep.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Wallen.
Aye.
Warfa.
Aye.
Finance Chair Delahoyd.
Aye.
Chief of Staff Peterson. Aye. Vice President Sierra.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and the dance club constitution is approved. All right, moving on to our last open forum item, F, public comments. Are there any members of the public that would like to address the Senate tonight? Seeing none, we will move on to reports. Beginning with my own, I did kind of a lot of work over break, so bear with me while I give you guys some information. Way back when, on December 16th, I met with the Brookings City Mayor. We discussed the city's announcement at that time regarding Operation Prairie Thunder, the governor's response, and then how Brookings just kind of came together to handle that situation. Also, the city is trying to make citizens aware, specifically SDSU students, aware of winter parking conditions. So, kind of one, if you don't follow the City of Brookings on Facebook or Instagram, that's where they release all of their press releases and kind of vital information. So, if you don't, you definitely should. And then also, just kind of being mindful. You know, we all live in South Dakota. We know that it's going to snow eventually. If you know it's going to snow, just please move your car out of the way to prevent, obviously, you don't want to get your car towed. The city doesn't want to tow your car. So just kind of being mindful of winter weather conditions, as it's pretty important. And then also there are a lot of exciting developments coming soon, specifically with the research park. And I would stay tuned on that. And then I attended the Board of Regents meeting and Student Federation meeting on December 10th and 11th. I went with Vice President Sierra and Government Affairs Chair Hunt. Definitely a good time down at USD Sioux Falls. Most importantly, we discussed potential changes to the idea survey platform. Sounds like there might be just a little bit of a company change, but also they took some feedback on what we think the idea survey could improve on. In addition, the first reading of the new housing and meal plan policy was read. If you're not familiar, there was a housing and meal plan group established by the Board of Regents, or a subcommittee, to analyze the processes, the current policy, and just the general surroundings with housing and meal plans on any residential institution. So that first reading was read. There's expected to be some minor tweaks specifically regarding housing during breaks. So example being, if you are living on campus during a break, the logistics behind that, and then how we can better communicate and effectively carry out that mission. And then in addition, excitingly, SDSU submitted several construction and planning proposals. All of them were passed. Some of the proposals were the soccer stadium, an energy efficiency initiative, an academic building, the swine unit, and renovating Benoist Hall. Over break, I worked on several ongoing projects. If you remember correctly, last semester we discussed briefly a parking survey. So I've been working with 2 parking individuals on that, drafting the survey. Hopefully we are going to get that out by or before spring break. So then over the summer we can work on that feedback. And when that time comes, I strongly encourage everyone to fill that out. Also worked on some shed stuff. We officially have our hotel rooms booked and are working on motor pool. Again, if you are not going to shed, totally fine, but if you are and you maybe have some questions, please contact Government Affairs Chair Hunt. Again, that will be January 25th and 26th. Government Affairs Chair Hunt, I believe you're maybe going to talk about our departing times, so we're going to wait on that. Also, did some GAF stuff over break. I kind of finalized our GAF budgeting guidelines that came out of Finance Fun Time, which as of today at 6 p.m. have officially been finalized. So you'll see that on next week's agenda, and we can talk about it then. But that's a pretty important document because essentially it's the holy grail for all GAF. How we're going to allocate it, how it should be allocated, how it shouldn't be allocated. So we made some pretty pertinent changes to that, and I think it'll be really beneficial. Also, we noticed earlier that, or not we added earlier to the agenda the UAFBC reserve polls. So I'm going to do just a little kind of summary of that. So because we have our GAF reallocation task force established, and for our new senators, we'll get more familiar with GAF as we go through it. So we'll explain that later. But we have a GAF reallocation coming for fiscal year 27 that the Board of Regents requires a student survey be conducted and have a certain approval rating in order to reallocate GAF. So we have $1.83 going up this year, and the task force diligently created a recommendation. Now we need to do the student survey. So as we do that, we do actually provide incentives for that. So we need to pull it out of our reserves in order to pay for those incentives. Those incentives, if you're not familiar with how the GAF vote went last year, will be $1,000 of $500 of a Jackrabbit Central gift card, and then $500 Apple gift card is what we're prospecting to buy with our reserve poll. But it does follow a little bit different process than our internal budget spending goes. So UAFBC is kind of the University Finance Committee. So they'll approve it, and we can hopefully pull that. Today I had 2 meetings. We met with Dr. Willis, Vice President Sierra and I did. We discussed basically the same thing I discussed, and then some plans for this semester. Also, Cody was in that meeting today. At 3 p.m. I met with the student programming group. That was my first time as a student being there. It was essentially just kind of how can we prevent dual programming, communicate each other's events best. And so I will be most likely communicating a lot of those events with you guys, and I strongly encourage you guys to attend. Speaking of that, last semester we had a lot of really good opportunities to make our mark on campus, and unfortunately we just weren't able to fill all of those due to kind of a lack of interest. So I just want to remind everyone that as a senator, it is your duty to represent your peers in those settings. And unfortunately, there's only so many committees that the executive team and just a few amount of people can sit on. So I am going to take the discretion, and if I, which I will actually right now, offer up an ad hoc committee, just a temporary committee that I need someone to sit on. You go to that meeting, that will count as your office hours for that week. Example being, I need someone to sit on a diploma committee. This essentially is just going to look at what's on the diploma and kind of how we're going about it. So more details to come, but because we work so closely with the university administration, we're often one of those first people to get contacted about a new initiative because, again, we're one of the shared governance committees on campus. So, again, I encourage you guys to get involved. Committee meetings usually only take about an hour, and they're really insightful, and your student perspective is very important. So I would ask anytime that we offer or need something, obviously we're all busy. So just respect your limits, but also I would ask that some people volunteer. And Diversity Liaison Alex will talk about MLK Day, but we will not have a meeting next week. That is why this report is so long. And also I will be scheduling Senator one-on-ones tonight. So you will get an email basically right after this meeting, and I would ask that you fill it out by noon tomorrow so we can get our 30-minute one-on-ones. Nothing intimidating, just a check-in on what are your goals for this semester, what are our goals for this semester, and how are we going to achieve them. And also, you may notice we have an extra person at the table. Way back when, almost a year ago now, the past Senate passed a ordinance establishing an honors college ex officio seat. Last semester, we were unable to have our guests join us, but now we have Lindsay here with the Honors College. We're very excited as there will be an ex officio reporting to us now. Okay, I'm done. Vice President Sierra.
Yeah. So I finished up committee assignments for this semester. Tried to give everybody as close to their preferences as possible. Everybody's sitting on at least 3 committees right now. I do still have some open seats for some of our internal committees, so if you want to sit on some additional committees, if you're not already. There's 3 open seats for the Government Affairs Committee, 1 open seat for Safety Security, and 1 for the Student Diversity and Inclusion Committee. So just let me know if you want to sit on one of those committees also. Those are usually a little more flexible, usually meet in the evenings or when it works best for everybody. Also, I'll be sending that to the university probably tomorrow because I just finished those up tonight. And making sure they update it with all the committee chairs so you'll get notified when those committees meet. And then we'll be going through the athletics memorandum of understanding, making sure it's up to date, and then probably adding in a clause for the new scoreboard proposal with our GAF allocation, that they're going to be helping finding fundraising for, making sure that actually happens with that North scoreboard. But yeah, that's all I got right now.
Chief Staff Peterson.
Yes, I ordered name tags and nameplates for the new senators, so those will hopefully be here on Monday, and you will for sure have them before shed. And as well as the new ex officio, you will get that soon. The senator spotlight is going out this week, and I ask that all new senators and new ex officios who have not been sent an orientation video or attended orientation, please come speak to me right after the meeting so we can schedule an orientation. So that is the end of my report.
Finance Chair Delahoy.
So if you are on the finance committee, which you should have just gotten the email if you are, like from Wesley saying which committees you're on, we do meet this week on Wednesday at 8 p.m. So that'll be in the SA office downstairs. We do have 2 applications that are a little bit time sensitive, so that's why we're meeting this week for that. So sorry about that. It's week 1, we're meeting, we are going to do that. And then I've just been working on updating the special allocation and new venture applications to get ready to change those over to DocuSign for next year.
Government Affairs Chair Hunt.
Like President Spear said, I attended the Board of Regents meeting last month, and there was a lot of stuff on the agenda that had to do with SDSU. I also finished up finalizing the shed schedule, and there will be a presentation about it and a legislative briefing later in the meeting. And then I also contacted our Hobo de Grand Pumba about our memorandum of understanding that we have with them for the Student Promotion Fund Committee, and we're working on renewing that because it's up in 2026. And then those of you who are on the Student Promotion Fund Committee, you will be getting an email for committee time change. End of report.
Communications Chair Vingenberg.
The rabbit report was sent out this morning. Our apparel order has arrived, so if you ordered apparel, you can come down to the office after the meeting to pick it up. I'll be sending out a poll to schedule a time for a communications committee meeting to discuss Senate Outreach Week, and then I'll also be scheduling new senator headshots soon, so look out for a poll to schedule time for that one too. End of report.
Diversity Liaison Alex.
Like President Spear mentioned, the Martin Luther King Jr. Day Rally and Parade will be next week on the 19th at Club 71, so by the football stadium, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I encourage you all to come and show your support. And then a Google form will be sent out for the Diversity and Inclusion Committee meeting times this semester. End of report.
Moving on to ex officios, beginning with AFA.
We have our first meeting on Thursday at 7. We'll be having a trivia night at the Veteran Services Engagement Center. And as Colin said, we'll be taking some of our AFA members and other military students out to Deadwood this weekend.
AISA.
Our first meeting will be on Thursday from 6 to 7 at the American Indian Student Center. We'll be having 2 new elections as our ex officio and our social media representative did not return for this semester, so we'll be having 2 new elections. We will also be having a Indian taco sale on the 27th. I believe it's $8 for Indian taco, cash and Venmo. And we will also be having Wachipi. Dates are March 28th through the 29th that weekend, and it'll be in the Falstaff Ballroom.
BSA.
Just on Monday, the MLK Rally and Parade. Show up, please.
GSA.
Next week, Wednesday, we'll be having our karaoke night in the market from 6 to 8 p.m. Feel free to show up. And we shift around some of our exec board roles since 2 people weren't able to return to the exec board this semester. And that's the report.
Hero.
We're having our first event on January 27th at 7 p.m. and then we're going to be tabling expo.
Honors College.
First of all, we're really excited to finally be recognized as ex officios for the Honors College, so I'm really happy to represent that. And then we also are looking for a new Honors College Dean. That search has been going really well, and we have 3 final interviewees this week. So if you're interested in attending open forums to meet the Honors Dean candidates, those are on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 2:30 to 3:30 here in the evening. End of report.
IRC.
So the exec board will be meeting this Friday at 4 p.m. I believe, and we're just finalizing talks for our first event, which we should be hosting probably 2 weeks from now. Yeah, end of report.
Lassa.
We finalized our meeting times for our general board, which will be 5:30 on Thursdays. And I'll go until BSA starts. And then we'll probably have our first meeting in 2 weeks as well.
RHA.
Our first meeting will be January 26th. End of report.
Unified Council. Unified Council.
We have our exec retreat this Wednesday, where both the CPH and IFC committees will meet and kind of do some planning for the spring. With that being said, we also have our spring recruitment, as Cody had mentioned, going on. So I believe our first event will be January 21st, as we will also be doing tabling at the Student Engagement Expo as well. So if you're interested, check that out.
UPC.
So yesterday, we had our refresher meeting for the semester, kind of just went over a few things and got organized for the start of the year. And our first event this semester, we are partnering with ADAPT, and it's called Beat the Winter Blues, and that'll be on January 23rd, which is Friday. Not this Friday, but the Friday after. And it is taking place at the Union Market stage from 7 to 10 p.m. And there will be a movie with board games, and the first 100 attendees will get a chance to stuff a plush bear. End of report.
Moving on to advisors, beginning with Advisor Bylander.
Hope everybody had a good break.
Just like I mentioned at the very last meeting last semester, I will mention again at the first meeting this semester. Open to meeting with any senators if you want. Advisors do this kind of stuff because we like interacting with students more than we like interacting with adults. So any senator ex officio just wants to chat about Senate things, being a student, coffee on me, open invitation, just let me know. End of report.
Coffee on you.
Coffee on me.
Okay. Advisor Willis.
Welcome back, everybody. It's good to have you back. The energy is a lot of fun, and it's always great to see you back after a decent break. As Advisor Bylander shared, because we have so many new senators in the room, just as a reminder that always love to visit with you as well and talk about anything that is on your mind. I will also just share, so if you have your computers or a pen or paper, my cell phone number, which I do share with this group regularly, and that is 402-525-7704. You can also reach out to my office, and the extension on campus is 4493. That goes to my assistants in my office. My assistant's name is Sloan Berkey. Emily Gerner is also one of our assistants. She's part-time with our office and started this fall. And so you can reach either one of them at that 4493 number if you want to get on my calendar, find a time to meet. They are usually the best source to reach me. And you can also send me an email through the employee directory and reach out with any questions that you might have or any opportunities or requests to meet or visit. I usually also stay after just a little bit after each Senate meeting, so if there's a topic that you want to get on my brain or if you want to put me aside for something, feel free to do that after Senate meetings. I'm glad to stick around and visit with you with those as well, but definitely want to engage and hear what you're thinking and what your priorities are. And as you go into this semester, the time becomes pretty short, and before the Students Association turns over with elections and things. And so if you have key priorities that you are just burning to get done, don't forget to get your resolutions written, get your commemorations written. Those are part of your roles and responsibilities as senators, to bring those ideas that you ran on and that you were interested in being a part of this body, bringing those forward so that you can have really great discussions and debates. So look forward to that as we look into the spring semester. Also, Sophie mentioned there's a lot of construction projects going on, kicking off from the board meeting and a few others. And so I'm going to just run through really quick a couple of things that are going on and kind of where we're at with them. So Carruthers Engineering Hall, we have selected an architect firm for that design project, and so look for conversations to really get started in February about the design and renovations of other halls and what that might look like. If you are in the College of Engineering, you may have opportunities to engage in some of those conversations, but those meetings with the department begin in February. Yeager Hall, which we're currently occupying for dining services, and then the School of Communication and Journalism is also anticipating a renovation in the future, and so they are working to select an architect firm right now, and once they select that architect firm, they'll move into design and start to get some feedback and input on what that looks like. The soccer stadium statement of interest due to select an architect are due on the 15th of this month, and so once we get those statements of interest from architects, we will start seeing the design come together pretty quickly. The same thing with Benoist Hall. We are currently requesting statement of interest, and those are due the first week of February, and so that will enable us to hire the architect firm that will do the design on the renovation for Benoist Hall, which I know everybody's super excited about. We also have a new academic building that is slated to go on Sexauer Green over by the Dairy Bar. And with that new academic building, we are working on a request for the statement of interest that hasn't been released yet, so we don't have an official timeline, but that is part of our university master plan, and so we will be looking at what that might look like. Another exciting one that will go to the April board meeting is a preliminary facility statement for the Briggs Library renovation and design. We're pretty excited about opportunities to really reimagine Briggs Library, make it accessible, but also perhaps add some services and a learning commons to that space. So look for more information after the April board meeting as we work on hiring an architect to begin that design work. This summer, Hanson Hall's C-store will undergo a renovation. It's about a $1.4 million project that we're funding to renovate that C-store facility to add permanent hot food options, but also reimagine what that modern C-store experience looks like. And so that project is kicking off. We have an architect on board, and Jennifer Novotny is leading that planning process. In addition, we will be looking at the 2 public kitchens in Hanson Hall and looking at some renovations this summer for those 2 kitchen spaces as well. The Union, this building, will get some mechanical system upgrades, and we'll continue with some of the utility projects to connect the Union to the central chiller plant and really improve like the HVAC and just kind of how this space feels. So that project is a 3-year project, and we are working on kind of the next steps with that. We have an engineering firm on board that is working with us, and again, that will span a couple of years to get all of the systems upgraded and working really well. And then we also had a bunch of utility projects last summer that kind of tore up campus in a lot of key ways. We'll be doing a little bit of that tear up again as we look towards this summer. We still have some ARPA funding from some previous allocations that are going into that project, but those projects are really designed to update our sanitary sewage system, but also connect additional buildings to our university chiller plant. What that does is it creates efficiencies for our heating and air conditioning, ventilation and air conditioning systems. And so we will connect Matthews Hall to that central chiller plant. There's also a line that goes in front of Caldwell Hall that is in the works in the planning stages. So all of that is really to improve the infrastructure so that the future of those facilities is in a really stable position. So there's a lot of things going on. And then the last piece is tied into the university master plan, which is kind of our facilities plan. We will be in April requesting from the Board of Regents a permission to move forward with a housing and dining master planning process that ties in and aligns with that. As we get permission and get an architect firm on board to help us with that, there will be a lot of opportunities for student input to figure out, what are the priorities from a housing perspective, what are the priorities from a dining perspective, so that we can align that with our university master plan and really have some solid plans for the future on where we're going next. So a lot of construction conversations happening, a lot of exciting things going on, but all of that is to really improve the service and experiences for you, our students today, but also for the students into the future, and we're pretty excited about it. So with that, end of report.
Are there any committees that would like to report out tonight? Senator Anderson.
Safety and security, I tried to set up a meeting with the previous interim UPD chief, Kilber, but now that there's been some rotation, I don't know what we're gonna do with that. We tried to get it for this Thursday at 2, but we'll see if we can follow through with that timeline or we have to push it back to meet with the new interim chief. Just keep your ears open for that and move forward.
Any other committees? Seeing none. Oh, I'm sorry. Are there any questions for any of the reports tonight? Senator Christoffels.
Question for you, President Spear. Has there been any update on the potential student parking and traffic committee that we talked about last semester?
Yeah, so kind of the timeline that I brought from that discussion, and you can correct me or add some input, but it was to do a student survey first, and one of the primary questions on that will be, do you think a student parking advisory committee will be successful? So subsequently, after the survey. Any other questions? Advisor Willis.
I forgot one other thing. So the university is going out with a request for proposals for pouring rights. What pouring rights are is the types of soda that we have available on campus. And so right now you will notice in our dining locations, we are a Coke and a Pepsi campus because we have dual pouring rights with our existing contract, but with athletics, we are a Coke campus, yeah, Coke campus. And so that RFP is getting ready to be released, and Derek Peterson, who is our AVP for business services, is asking for some students to serve on that. So I did send a note to you, Sophie, for a senator to serve on that. We will also request someone from within our residence halls as a student and someone from the Food Service Advisory Council to serve, as well as some athletic representatives and things like that. But anyway, so if you have an interest and have a preference with regards to what types of drinks that we have on campus, that might be a fun opportunity to get engaged in something that won't take a lot of time.
Any further questions for the reports tonight? All right, we'll move on to unfinished business, beginning with our GAF fiscal year 27 reallocation recommendation. Chief of Staff Peterson, would you please introduce this item? Yeah.
On November 3rd, 2025, the SDSU Students Association conducted an internal general activity fee work session regarding the reallocation of the Miller Wellness Center 2006 expansion bond, totaling $1.83. Individuals participating in the work session were tasked with generating ideas of potential places to reallocate the $1.83. 6 categories were presented to participants: intercollegiate athletics, Miller Wellness Center, University Student Union, career development, student organizations, and other. Participants then gave feedback and discussed the topics. The group's final priorities included, but are not limited to, expanding union hours of operation, career development, grad school prep courses / advisors / seminars, union spaces, better study areas, money for future clubs / new venture funding, Miller Wellness Center new machines, and Dana J. Dykehouse North Scoreboard. A temporary task force was established to analyze the feedback and propose a formal reallocation recommendation. After discussion and consideration, the SDSU Students Association proposes the following GAF recommendation for the Miller Wellness Center 2006 expansion bond. Fiscal year 27 general activity fee reallocation recommendation. Expanding union hours, 16 cents. Career development and career coach, 60 cents. Union operation support, 49 cents. Clubs and student organizations, 18 cents. Wellness Center operation support, 40 cents.
All right. Is there a motion to approve? Finance Chair Delahoyd.
I'm going to approve this on behalf of the GAF Finance Committee.
All right. Finance Chair Delahoyd, first right.
So yeah, we met with Vice President Willis with this, and we've really gotten the university leadership's feedback on this, as well as a lot of feedback that we took from that initial poll when we kind of did that activity in here. The other centers are here for that. So we really feel like this matches both the student priority, the leadership priority, and really the priority and needs of the campus. So we really appreciate this.
Further discussion? Again, sorry we didn't get this voted on last semester, so new senators understood if this is pretty fresh. But this will kickstart our process to get our student survey. And then kind of regarding the next item, actually, I'm going to talk about that when we get there. Are there any further discussion on this? All right, let's take it to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Peterson?
Vice President Sierra?
Aye.
Chief of Staff Peterson? Aye. Finance Chair Delahoyd?
Aye.
Senators Warfa?
Aye.
Wallen?
Aye.
Smith?
Aye.
Sleep?
Here.
Sivakoti?
Aye.
Shrestha?
Aye.
Sharples Schmidt?
Here.
Roca?
Aye.
Huddell?
Aye.
Mollison?
Aye.
Lopez? Cottonham? Campson?
Aye.
Holland?
Aye.
Foley? Darrench?
Aye.
Christoffels?
Aye.
Fry?
Aye.
Bolweg? Bolweg? Anderson.
The ayes have it, and the GAF fiscal year 27 reallocation recommendation has passed the Student Association Senate. All right, so my brief pause earlier was in regard to unfinished business item B. So now that we have our first step done, which is passing the Senate with our GAF reallocation, this now needs to go to UAFBC, which will then go to Dr. Willis's office, and then it will go to President Dunn's office. And what we're doing right now, like I had explained earlier, is pulling out from our reserves in order to fund the incentives required for our student survey. Kind of a last minute realization today, but we are going to try to get our survey out by Friday. That's a pretty tight timeline, but we're gonna shoot for the stars and get to the moon. So I am just gonna warn you guys, I really am gonna need some help next week and the following, the 16th through the 30th. At some point, we are gonna table for the GAF survey. We really need, last year, we actually have in the flesh, President Peterson had a great response rate on the survey last year. It was almost 20% of the student population, so big shoes to fill, and we can all work hard together and get that done. So I will be sending out tonight, along with Senator one-on-ones, sorry, a lot of emails tonight, but you will, if you're able to, I would strongly ask that you sign up for one tabling block. This will count as your office hours for that week. And again, more to come on that, but this reserve request is specifically in regards to the survey. Is there a motion to approve? Finance Chair Delahoyd.
So moved.
Second.
Been so moved and seconded. Finance Chair Delahoyd, first right.
I mean, this is what we have it proven to work. It's what worked last year. We would hope that it's what works this year. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And I would encourage you to vote yes.
Further discussion. Sorry, when I talk GAF, I get a little excited. All right, anything? Since we waived the first reading of this, it's an unfinished business, we will take this to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Peterson.
Senators Anderson.
Aye.
Barnett abstains. Bolweg. Fry.
Aye.
Christoffels.
Aye.
Derenge.
Aye.
Foley.
Aye.
Holland.
Aye.
Campson.
Aye.
Cottenham.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
Mollison.
Aye.
Paudel.
Aye.
Roca.
Aye.
Sharples Schmidt.
Aye.
Shrestha.
Aye.
Siwa Cody.
Aye.
Sleep.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Wallen.
Aye.
Warfa.
Aye.
Finance Chair Delahoyd.
Aye.
Chief of Staff Peterson. Aye. Vice President Sierra.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and this reserve request will now go to UAFBC. All right, seeing that there is no new business, we will move on to topics for future discussion. Are there any topics for future discussion tonight? Seeing none, we will move on to announcements. I will just begin with some pertinent announcements. Again, no meeting next week because of the MLK holiday. I strongly encourage everyone to go to the MLK Rally and Parade. It was a super kind of moving experience last year, and obviously a very honorable thing to celebrate. So make it if you can. That's at 10 a.m. in the SJAC. And then, again, in this big email that I'm going to send out tonight that I know all you guys are going to read, I'll make a list of all of the committees that I need you guys to sit on since we kind of got a couple more added as we went on. Again, if you volunteer for that committee, we will waive a week's of office hours. Any other important announcements? Chief Staff Peterson.
As a reminder, all new senators at large, please come see me after the meeting. Thank you.
All right. Government Affairs Chair Hunt. You can. Ex officios, because we're going to talk about SHED, you guys don't need to sit through that, so you guys are dismissed. And now we will talk about SHED.
I feel so
Yeah, it's so SDSU. That is very, yeah, it's like going to, like, I was like really.
was very hot.
Yes.
26 Monday.
So I was
Sunday 25th. The 26th or 27 one and the 27th Tuesday.
Yeah, you have
Let's get it started.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. For new Senator at Larges, my name is Anna Hunt. I'm the Government Affairs Chair for the Students Association. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started. This is the SHED prep and legislative briefing, as President Spear said. So what is SHED? SHED stands for Students for Higher Education Day. It takes place at the South Dakota State Capitol. It's an opportunity for student leaders to engage with legislators in coordinated and visible fashion and stuff. And it's also put on through the South Dakota Student Federation, which is like the Students Association for the entire Board of Regents. And Vice President Sierra and I are on that together. And then, so this happens throughout the South Dakota State legislative session. And that happens, they meet for 38 legislative days. They meet January 13th through March 12th this year, and then they have one veto day on March 30th. There are 2 chambers, so and then there are 35 districts in the state of South Dakota. And then each senator is 1 from each district, and then there are 32 Republicans and 3 Democrats in the Senate. And then there are 37 districts instead of 35 in the House. There are 2 districts that are split in 2. So there's 26A and 26B, and then 28A. And then there are 64 Republicans and 6 Democrats. This brought it up this year. There's actually 65 now because one of the representatives switched parties this year. So she went from a Democratic Party to a Republican Party. That is Representative Poyer. And then our District 7 legislators are Representative Melissa Heerman. We all met her last month when she came and spoke to us. And then Senator Tim Reed is our 1 senator for our district. And then Representative Roger DeGroot. And then Roger DeGroot was the superintendent for Brookings School District before he retired. And then so we're going to go into a little bit of lobbying 101, because when you are there, you are going to be talking to a lot of legislators and just about the bills that have come up about higher education, and then bills that you even would want to lobby on your own personal behalf. So there's always 3 points that you want to talk about. First thing is who you are, what is the bill that you are concerned about, and then what action needs to be taken. So first, start with who you are when you're approaching a legislator. Be kind, be professional, and always be prepared for the questions that they're going to ask. So always introduce yourself, use your name, your school, your major. Be personal with them. They like to hear stories. A lot of them are SDSU graduates, so they always love to hear stories about your time at SDSU as well. And then tell them why you're here and tell them why you're excited about SHED. This year is very big for higher education, so just be excited about why you chose SDSU and why you chose higher education. And then ask them questions about themselves. Just be conversational. And then this is about like what bill is concerning you. So just be effective and get to the point. That would be the best thing to do, is because they are approached by hundreds of people every day, every week. And you want to be rememberable, and in a good way, obviously. So just have talking points prepared, and it's also good to go in numbers. If there's 2 of you, you can bounce off of each other and prepare points with each other, and just talk about how those bills would in fact affect us and affect the Board of Regents schools as well. And then practice makes perfect, as everyone says. And then again, pull personal connection with these bills that you're talking about, because some of them are hard topics to discuss as well. And then this one, you just need to be very upfront with them. So you just urge them to vote yes or no on a bill, on what number. So this one is Senate Bill 72. You would just say, I urge you to vote yes or no on Senate Bill 72. And then communication is key. As we've said, be open with positive body language, be friendly and optimistic. Always use senator or representative when you're talking to them, even if you know them personally. When you're on the House or Senate floor, they are senator or representative. And then always be willing to answer their questions because they will have questions for you. And then thank them for their time. So targeted lobbying, we want to talk about bills that have to do with the Board of Regents. Currently, there are no bills for the Board of Regents, so I would just encourage you to look at the South Dakota LRC website and just look at bills that interest you, and you can ask them about their opinions on it. You can form your own opinions on it and everything, so just be open to anything. And then agendas for committees will be posted on Friday before we leave. And if anything comes up that are higher education bills, I will make sure to email you about them just so you have the language for them and everything so you are prepared that day. And then you can also go to the MyLRC Plus website. It's a bill tracker, and it will have what committee they're assigned to, what room it is, and in what time they are meeting to discuss that such bill. So this is just an example for a bill. So House Education, room 413, on the date and the time that they would meet. And then additional resources, you can visit sdlegislature.gov and then utilize the MyLRC Plus to track bills. You do have to create your own account. I have one if you would like to use it. I can give you the login for it and everything. And then the Brookings Legislative Forum is called the Cracker Barrel. It's where all of our legislators come and talk to the Brookings community about what they want our Brookings legislators to talk about and what they want and how they want them to vote and everything. So now we're getting to get into the fun stuff, which is the SHED schedule. So this is a pretty jam-packed schedule, I would just like to say. We would ask you to wear business professional attire the entire time you're there, so what you're wearing right now would be suitable and everything. We are going to meet at Motor Pool at 11:30 on Sunday, January 25th. We will be leaving promptly at noon. So just be prepared by noon to be there. And we'll arrive at the Ramkota in Pierre and check in at 3. It's about a 3-hour drive. And then we have to be at the Capitol Rotunda for the Student Federation meeting at 3:50. And please dress in business professional attire. We will be meeting with the governor that day, so I would like you guys all to look professional. We will be having a dinner there. It will be served at the Capitol Rotunda at 5:30, and then speakers, including the Lieutenant Governor and Governor, will be at 6:30. And then it is optional if you want to go to Lariat Lanes at 8 p.m. for bowling. We will be able to give you rides as well. And then it is going to be an early morning on Monday. This is also business professional attire. It is required. We will arrive at the Capitol at around 6:50. 7 a.m. is when security opens, so we'll be prepared to go through security and everything by 7 a.m. And then we will have coffee and donuts available until about 10:30 in both the Senate and House lobbies, so you guys can split up and talk to senators. You can talk to representatives and everything. And then by 8 a.m., I just realized that said p.m., sorry about that. By 8 a.m., committee and meetings will start, and then you can start lobbying, talking to legislators. There will be some on House and Senate floors, but there will be also some who are in committees. Committee suggestions, State Affairs meets at 7:45 along with Education. Both of those will meet at 7:45 on the 4th floor, along with Judiciary will meet at 10 a.m. on the 4th floor. And then Appropriations is usually in session by 7 a.m. And then at 11 a.m., we will have a photo opportunity with Governor Roden. And then by 11:30, we'll go to the Visitors Center, which is just a few hundred yards from the Capitol for more guest speakers. So we'll have the Board of Regents Executive Director and then the Vice President, along with Representative Eric Monkey and Senator Amber Hulse. They will all be coming to speak with us, and lunch will be served there before we go and head into session where we will be introduced in both House and Senate chambers. So you guys can either split up or go to both of them while we're being recognized, and then we will head back for Brookings by about 3. just leave straight from there. And then we will be having vehicles, so each of us will be driving one, Wesley will be driving one, President Spear will be driving one, and then Finance Chair Delahoyda and I will be driving one, and then 6 people in each of them. And then the next slide is room assignments, so it is an overnight trip, so here are your room assignments. You can feel free to take a picture of it if you Senator Smith looks a little happy that he's by himself. And then do you guys have any questions for me? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna add a couple things. First of all, if you guys want to switch around your room assignments, they're not like set in stone. So if you can communicate with other people and switch them around, that's fine. Also, please wear your name tags. Very important. Bring your name tags, and senators at large, you guys will have them by then. I'm gonna make sure of it. So don't forget your name tags. And also, when we're traveling to Pier, you don't need to be in business professional. You can wear comfortable clothes and change at the hotel. And also, one more thing, on Sunday night, we usually hang out at the pool, so if you want to bring a swimsuit, you can bring a swimsuit or some comfortable clothes to wear instead of your business professional and in straight to your pajamas. So please bring your name tags, though. Yes.
So this is like kind of personal, but I have like severe dietary restrictions, and I'm just curious, like, how would I go about that? Because
Yeah, absolutely. We have been in contact with our Student Federation Executive Director and Vice President and President, and they have been the ones coordinating. They've asked for dietary restrictions, which is why on the RSVP I asked for your guys' dietary restrictions. So they are aware of that, and they are prepared for that.
Okay.
Do we have a place to park our vehicles at Motor Pool, or everybody may have work a lot of number?
You will not. If someone needs rides, those, I think they're, am I wrong, Tina? Sorry, I heard whispers. There should be maybe some more tentative about that, but we can get rides to carpool to motor pool, and then everyone just join the group meet. That's where that will be communicated at.
Yes, all of our updates will be sent through GroupMe for everything, so make sure you're in it. Any important things about where we're meeting for everything will be sent through the GroupMe while we're there. If you're a new senator, we'll do that after the meeting.
I'll check on the cars and let everyone know.
Any other questions? Yes?
We'll be getting absences from.
Yes, I do have your excused absence slips downstairs on my desk, so if you guys want to find me once I am down there, I can give those to you. Okay, I'll turn it back over to President Spear.
Not much else, just remember MLK Rally. Lots of emails going out tonight, and also Shed. So everyone, if you have questions, please feel free to ask them. No question is a stupid question. Is there a motion to adjourn? Senator Christoffels.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned. Don't forget to meet with Emma.
Yeah, of course. Man, nice.
Have one. Best I can do. Who gets it all called.
Okay.
Like, I was like, I don't think,
So I have to work for people.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Sounds good.
I think it was a bold change order because we did the closing order.
I have, so, what I'm missing out of me, I have like, and so, I'm not sure. Okay. Okay.